This is Dave Bradshaw, and you're listening to Just Bring It, the Nerd Podcast.
Hey, welcome everyone to Just Bring It podcast. My name is Daniel, and my guest today is, as you can already see, the bull from the village, Gulyas Junior. How are you?
Hey guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for your question. I'm really tired, but actually I had my most impressive week. Actually, most impressive 2 weeks of wrestling, I think.
Yeah, I saw you were in France this week, or this past weekend. Yeah. How was it?
Well, it was so many memories what I collected, but let's just give it for first with the APC. APC was really great. I just had a good match with 4 other guys, with Thiago Monteiro, Kuro, Abak, and Erwan. And yeah, it was so crazy to meet with French people for the first time. Actually, that was my first time in France too. They brought us to the Eiffel Tower in the evening, so that was beautiful too. So I think the only problem was that I was already tired when we arrived to France, but it was really cool. Actually, we thought that we will die in the traffic. So
Yeah, it's I believe in Paris the traffic is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like the Arc de Triomphe, where all the cars just know where they need to drive, but you are very surprised nobody's crashing.
Yeah, there were no lines.
I've been there once before too, and it's like crazy to see. Like you always think like any minute now somebody is crashing.
It was
Crazy, and like obviously you're also crashing in the ring, but on purpose. And you've also been crashing like all across Europe. Yeah, you've been to France, you've been to Germany, which we are going to talk about a lot more later in the interview. But you also are in Hungary as well. That's your home base. You are the HCW Tag Team Champion, if I'm correct, with your brother. And you are also the Rings of Europe Kings of Europe champion, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you've been to plenty of places and you've been very successful. And the question that comes to mind, like from Hungary, you come to all of these different places. So when you first started, what were your initial thoughts? Where do you want to go, and why did you start this journey of becoming a pro wrestler?
Actually, when I first met with pro wrestling, I was around 11 or 12 years old. Yeah, I think 11 because I was 12 when we moved to Budapest. So I was 11, and I saw it on TV with a very bad Hungarian voice. So they translated everything, and now I know that all of the translations were shit. So I'm sorry, but that was. And I started to watch pro wrestling on TV. And when we moved to Budapest with my family, I just figured out that Hungary has HCW. On that time, Hungary only had HCW, so that was the only promotion what I can found. And in 2014, I went for the first show. That was the Day of Glory 2014, and that was the turning point when I decided that I have to do this. I want to do this, but unfortunately I had to wait 1 more year to go for the first training. So I made my first training in 2015, 7th of March. So yeah.
That's already a long time. Like that's plenty of years. And you've did you have a sports background, or where did you just start training wrestling one day?
No, you won't believe it, but I did football.
Football. So
yeah.
There's like a big Hungarian football scene.
Yeah, and on the countryside where I literally came from. That's the only option: football or handball. So no more things. So I did football for 5 years actually.
So a lot of people, like even in America, they come from the football scene and then they transition to pro wrestling. Like even the top champion Roman Reigns, he came from
Yes.
football. So it's not uncommon, but it's like crazy that the same stuff happens in Hungary, because in Germany there are probably not that many wrestlers that actually came from football, because it's not that popular yet in Germany. It's becoming more popular, but it's not that popular yet. So a lot of people are doing like other stuff, like fighting sports or like other things. And so that's really crazy, because you know how to take like Impact, because obviously football is a very impactful sport as well. And when you joined the industry, like, did you have any goals, or did you just want to have fun first?
I always planned small steps in front of me. So my first step, my first goal after my first training was, I would like to debut. I would like to perform in front of people. So in 2018, I had my first match on one of the underground tapings, and actually, me and my brother went to the taping that we didn't even know what will be our names. So we just know that what will be the gimmick, but we didn't know about our names. So we had a little brainstorming. Everybody dropped the names, very Hungarian names, and the final option. Actually, that was the last one. What dropped in, and we picked Gulyas because we thought that the goulash is something what people are know from abroad too. I mean, the goulash soup and everything. So we wanted a name what is can be referred to Hungary, and I think if people hear goulash, at least he will know that it's from Hungary.
Yes, I mean, especially the fans in WXW like to chant for food. So food is their
Yeah.
favorite thing to chant for. So that's fantastic. As you would have known, as if you would have known that in the future you will go and wrestle for a company that has fans that like to chant for food. Yeah, and but the question is, you just walk through the door and like, from what you've been telling, there was only HCW at the time.
Yeah.
So what was the scene right in Budapest? So were there trainers waiting for you, or did you need to look for trainers? What was that kind of process going?
No, because HCW already had a dojo at that time, because they opened the dojo in 2012 or 11. I didn't know the exact date, but I think it's 2012. So I only have to apply for a training, and that time it wasn't that expensive. So and I could pay it for monthly, so like a real sport. So it wasn't a hard job to try. Sorry, it wasn't a hard job to find a trainer, because there were the arrows who ran the regularly all of the trainings at that time. So it wasn't a hard job to find them. The hard part was to do it, to attend at every training with the same passion, because after time and time, there was a point where I felt like I maybe didn't belong into this industry. But at that time, one of my trainers, I had a really deep conversation with him, and he just told me that, yeah, kid, you have to do this, because if you can finish the dojo, you can be anywhere.
And he was right, you see?
Yeah.
He was right. In the end, he was right. Because, I've been to many, many places. And, but as you already touched on earlier, you came from the village. So the
Yes.
bull from the village is not necessarily just a gimmick, it's actually
No.
reality,
No,
right?
it's real.
So that was the first idea, and it stuck right away. You wanted to be the bull from the village.
Yep.
So, and I've seen that you since have also gotten the tattoo on your leg from the
Yep.
bull. So that has nothing to do with the Brahma bull. That's all you. That's the bull from the village, right?
Yeah, actually, I made this tattoo because I wanted something wrestling related, but I didn't want something which anyone else can have. So I did this, and actually, in right, you know, right here.
Yes.
This is the dates of this is 2 dates. The first date is my first Hungarian match, and the other date is my first WXW match in front of a live crowd.
Oh, that's really beautiful. That's really good. That's nice to know. That's a very nice fact.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Because like WXW, especially as it seems, is a big role for you. Takes a lot of your interest in wrestling, I see. But before we talk about WXW, I have a few questions still about everything surrounding your character. Because when you first arrived in Western Extreme Wrestling, you weren't exactly the guy you are now. You were coming in and you were doing like this, and you were the smelly guy. And that has since changed because you're also now with your brother. So what was the creative process there?
You know, in here in Hungary, wrestling is more like based on gimmicks and not like on fight. So I try to establish this kind of stuff in WXW too, but I had to realize that in WXW maybe I should do something different and focus more on the fighting part, because actually I think I can do fighting stuff too, but I thought that if I would focus on the gimmick stuff, I would be more different than the others. But after the first taping, I felt like that the crowd didn't even get what I am or who I am really, and how can I fit into the WXW. So on the second taping, I changed it, and also I changed my gear for the second taping, and my style too. But I had to I have to be really grateful for Robert, because he helped me a lot.
Yeah, Robert Dreisker, the Avalanche, as he was used to be called. But even during their tapings, or at the beginning of these tapings, he changed to be the Coach Dreisker.
Yeah.
And that has been a long-going story that culminated in 16 Carat, basically.
Yes.
And characters are like a very big part also of German wrestling,
Yes,
but different, like in a different way. In a
Yeah.
different way. So they are more multi-layered, if you want to
Yes.
say that. But I've seen what Hungarian wrestling can do, because I was, last Thursday, I was at the Academy event, and I saw a lot of characters.
So you saw Rufus,
Yeah.
Antal, Danny Rocks, Avatar, Maokai. So yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't think the show was taped for WXW now, because I haven't seen any cameras.
No, it wasn't.
But I'm sure we can see these characters at the next Passion Pro or HCW show, right?
Yeah, you will.
Yes.
You definitely will.
So I'm looking forward to that, and I think everyone should, because I can tell everyone that was crazy. That was really crazy, but also very interesting, because it was nice to see all of these different characters like interact with each other. And there's one question, the last question about your character I have to ask you, because that's the question we ask to everyone we have on the podcast, and that's because we are Just Bring the Nerd podcast. We need to know, what comic book character or film or TV character would you fit your character to? So what is most similar? So we brainstormed in our little podcast crew, and we thought maybe it's Hook from Cars, that tow truck. Maybe that's fitting. Or Ferdinand the Bull, that John Cena voiced in the movie.
Yep.
So maybe that's fitting to your character. But if you think about it yourself, who is fitting of Gulyas Junior, the character?
Actually, you were almost right. you are almost right, because it's a combination of three, and you guess two of it.
Oh, that's crazy.
But the third one is, it's a, I think, a pretty obvious one, but it didn't obvious in, if I tell how I look like. So the third one is Thor, because of the power.
Oh yeah, the power,
Yeah.
and power is actually a good keyword, as you would have known, because now I want to talk with you about how do you keep that power, how do you train, how do you work out.
It's a good question, because I'm one of the guys in Hungary who didn't stop training in ring after the debut, because sadly some guys did. But in this time, there is more guys who didn't stop after debuting. So I do in ring trainings for 2 times in a week, and 3 and I have so I or I have 3 powerlifting sessions too. So so I train 5 times a week.
5 times a week powerlifting, so like the big heavyweights, like
Yes.
to keep.
So two time in ring and 3 time powerlifting.
So that's obviously a lot, but to stay in shape and to do all of these shows, you obviously have to do that. But that's crazy that you keep sticking to it and you keep getting stronger, and that's crazy. But if you look at the scene, like obviously you wanna like get different opinions of different people, and you got to work with the Arrows, and you got to work with Robert Dreisker now. Is there anybody you would recommend to people outside they should train with, or that you have trained with before?
Let me see. Well, yeah, the Arrows are pretty obvious choice, because they have a really different landscape from pro wrestling. Yeah.
Or if you think about it, if you think about it for yourself, if there's somebody you want to train with, you know of.
Yeah, actually, we will have a seminar with someone who I really looking forward in April. So I'm gonna tell him, because I really looking forward with the seminar of Tankwa here in Hungary. So maybe Tankwa is one of it, and also Peter Tihany is a really good coach here in Hungary.
Yes. So you, I assumed that you and Peter basically came up at the same time, but from now it looks like Peter is he's been doing this longer, so he can already train people. Oh, that's interesting.
He's the head coach here in Hungary.
Oh, that's cool.
He keeps all of the trainings here.
That's cool. That's really cool, because he himself is also like very young still.
Yeah.
And it's all because we have that in WXW when we have Rotation, who's also like pretty young still, but he has had a long career, so he can train people, and he got the experience. So, but for Peter, it seems like he has been not there for a long time, and he's also still very young, but he still has enough experience to tell these people, to tell everyone what they should do and should not do, and to train everyone. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And it's good, because all of the advanced group guys can watch him like a trainer on training. So outside of training, he's friends with the advanced group guys, because they are in the same age. But during a training session, all of the guys watch him as a trainer. So it's really cool that he can make it.
He can switch that, and everyone is now respect him as a trainer for the hour, for the 1, 2, 3 hours of training, and then he transitions back to being a good friend. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's very nice to hear, because also like there are obviously training groups where things are like very professional and very strict, and there's no lightness. And like if we can change that and that works for you, that even makes for a better environment and probably helps new people coming there to train in a better way, right? So
Yep.
everyone that's in Hungary and maybe listening to this right now, please come and train at the HCW dojo, right?
Yes.
So, and the HCW dojo is probably responsible for like a big golden era of new talent coming for Hungary, right?
Yes, actually, it's
I mean,
yes.
we got the arrows on top, and then we got Peter, we got you, we got your brother, we got Orsi, we got
Yep.
Iva Kolaski, and all of these people coming in right now and taking over Europe. And that's really, really crazy, and that's something special and important because as we experienced, all of us fans and a lot of people in the business, wrestling comes in waves. So there's a bad wave and there's nothing happening really and nothing really works out. And then there's a great wave of all the talent coming together and creating something special. And it feels like, especially after the 16 Carat weekend, Hungarian wrestling is in that big wave of talented guys coming over and really trying to change something and do something. So that's really impressive to see, and you were really able to show that during the 16 Carat weekend, I feel.
Yeah, that was actually impressive, I think too. But of course, I'm really happy for Peter. But first of all, I would like to thanks for the arrows that they made it possible that we could be on the 16 Carat weekend. And yes, I'm really happy that me and my brother was on a WXW We Love Wrestling show and on the showcase, and I was in the inner circle. It's pretty good. But I have to mention someone who surprised me the most, and it was Orsi. Actually, she did a pretty cool job, and I think she just arrived in Germany with style.
Yeah, absolutely. She left a long-lasting impression. So we are still talking about Arshi's performance, and I've seen her again at the academy event, and it was like she was outshining everyone else. I have to say that she was really, really great. From her, not just her in-ring work, but her chemistry with the audience and her shouting and her emotions and everything.
Yes.
That was really, really on top and really impressive. So I really hope we see Orsi back, and I feel like would be a good challenger for the WXW title.
Yeah,
And
I think too, because she has the fire, she has the passion, she has the work rate. So all she needs now is some strictness with herself and push herself more into it.
I mean, sometimes we've seen it with guys in WXW. You need like a little story. You need like something, like some little straw that you can grab onto, and then you can explode and show even more people what you can do.
Yes.
Because the crazy thing about WXW is that a lot of things also come to Peacock or the WWE network. So that's really, really great if people see Orsi or you, Peter on there and see like, whoa, who are these guys? They're not German, they're from Hungary. That's crazy. What's going on there in Hungary? I want to see more Hungarian wrestling. And that's like, then there's your name, then there's Orsi's name and all of these people, and that's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, actually there were no shows on 16 Carat weekend without Hungarians.
Yeah, that's and also I've heard there were not only people on screen from Hungary, there are also people like working with the staff, like backstage also.
Yeah, we came with a 27 members of group.
That's a full roster. That's a full roster of people.
Actually, we had wrestlers, we had camera members, we have staff guys. So, wow, it was pretty hard to organize it, but as soon as we sat on the plane, we just look to each other with Peter that, oh yeah, we did it.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on this, like in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years time, I think this will be a big point of all of your guys' career, I
Definitely.
believe. Because you actually changed something, not just for Hungarian wrestling, but also for German wrestling. Because I'm gonna lean into this topic now. You and a couple of others arrived in these lockdown tapings when there were no fans, and you started from there and you built something up slowly and nicely, and that's very, very great to see. You really helped everyone to get through this tough period for you guys especially, but also for us fans, because a lot of us couldn't really get into no fans wrestling, but your characters helped us through. So your wrestling and your characters helped us through, so that was really great to see. And but obviously wrestling in front of no fans, that must have been strange, right?
Yeah, it was really strange. I mean, without the noise of the crowd, without the claps, without all the booing, it felt like, oh yeah, we did it because we want to entertain you guys. But it was so it could be so much better if you would be here. So yeah.
And it was like not only that, you had obviously you were taping this in Turbine Hall. And Turbine Hall is a very special venue. It's a very historic venue for wrestling.
No, actually, we taped it in Steffi.
Yeah, Steffi, but it's part of the same building complex, yes. And it's special because in the summer it's very hot because it's boiling, and then in the winter, because like it's like a very old building, it's very cold.
Yeah, that was very cold.
I've never seen a wrestling show, and I've seen a lot of them, where people were like steaming because the bodies were so hot and the outside were so cold.
When I was ring and I did a lockup, I think I did a lockup with Levanio. We broke the hold. I started to breath and I was able to see my breath. And I was like, oh shit.
That's crazy. I mean, thankfully nobody got knocked up by like ice from the roof or something. Because like that's the specialties of the turbine hall. There's no normal temperature. It's always very hot or very cold.
But actually we didn't care about it. We were just really grateful for WXW to let us show ourselves with Peter for the first time and with Ivo for the second, and I think that was one of the breakthrough points for the Arrows too, because they won the titles on no fans tapings. So the tapings were really special for us, and we didn't even care about the weather. Yeah, it was cold. Yeah, then it was warm, but oh shit, we were in WXW. I didn't care in what weather we were there, but we were there, and oh shit, that's cool.
Yes, I mean, obviously adrenaline rushes, but as you mentioned, the Arrows won the tag team titles, another historic moment, and we've actually on this podcast and people on other podcasts said it for years, like, why haven't the Arrows not won the tag team titles yet? And then it finally happened, because they have been the top tag team in Europe for quite some time, even taking UK wrestling into account, because like UK wrestling is a different level, not at the moment maybe, but it has been for a long time, and still in comparison the Arrows have been perfecting every part of what you need to be a tag team wrestler. So
yeah, I think when anyone asks me, I always say is that the Arrows is the tag team. So
the tag team, yes, because there are a lot of people that claim to be a tag team, but they are a legit tag team. Two, like an engine, two guys, like just knowing what to do, when to do, and it's like you can when they come, you want to lean back because you know you're gonna see a big wrestling match, but then the match is so awesome you cannot lean back. You need to go crazy because it's the Arrows of Hungary, Icarus and Dover doing the best.
Yeah. They are killers in the ring.
Absolutely, I fear the crossfire, I have to admit. And obviously that was a historic part. And then you came back, obviously now with 16 karat gold, like the big weekend, everything, and it was so much fun and such a finally after 2 years back with wrestling on this stage in Germany, like, and it is the biggest event in Europe. It might just be one of the biggest in the entire world, and it's like, I mean, it's actually 3 days, but in reality it's 4 days of crazy, crazy, crazy wrestling in a circle. Then the first night, then showcase, and of course the ambition tournament and everything around, like so much stuff going on, you can't even mention it all. And you've been right there in the middle of everything. And are you still tired from the weekend? Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is like, everyone still is like really exhausted, but also really happy, of course, that it happened finally, and we got through it without big trouble. Like some people maybe got a little bit of COVID, but
Yeah.
in the end, no, like really, really troublesome stuff. There have been some injuries, but hopefully not too bad. But in the end, I believe everyone came out with a positive feeling, and that's what counts. And yeah, of course, you came to this show different again compared to the shows you were on before, because now you not just came alone, you came as two with your brother. And
Finally, yeah.
yeah, you say finally. So what's the big question is, are we going to see the Gulyas Bros together now? Or is Gulyas Junior coming to
I mean,
WXW?
it totally depend on the WXW, because me and my brother would like to stay in WXW like a tag team, because we are. I think both of us is feels the most comfortable if we are in team. I mean, I really like the feeling when he's there when I'm in the gorilla position. So I think we need each other with him. So I'm really looking forward to compete with him as a tag team in WXW. And it's not a secret, I think, because I will write it on Twitter too tonight. Actually, that yeah, our next big goal is to make it to WXW World Tag Team Festival.
You see, that was what I wanted to ask you next, because of course, like finally, I have to say it, finally the World Tag Team Festival is coming back to WXW after 3 years, I believe, 2 years of a break. We had the Catch Grand Prix in that position, but now finally it's coming back. And my first initial thought, because I was sitting in at Showcase and you had the tag team match, of course, you guys, and I was looking up the rafters, I was looking at the balcony, and there was Robert there, Robert Dreisker, making notes. And I thought, like, they just announced the tag team tournament, and he's looking down and making notes, and I was like, of course, like, I immediately grabbed my phone and was like, here, please get the Gulyas Bros to WXW Tag Team Festival. So that should be something for you.
Yeah. We really would like to make it. We have to work for it. We have to work for it a lot, and as hard as we can. But we will do this work. We will do the homework, and I think if everything and everyone wants it, we can make it. But as I mentioned, it will take a lot of hard work from us. Because the tag teams are strong in WXW now too. I mean, there are Rotunflot, Arrows of Hungary, your new tag team champions, Maze and Moodoo. I mean, the newest tag team, Bobby Guns and Michael Knight. So, I mean, you guys have pretty strong tag team lineup, but somehow we want to make it.
I mean, yes, obviously you just mentioned them, Guns and Knight. I have to say it, my personal favorites, like this combination is absolutely mind-blowing. But after I've seen you guys in Showcase and I believe of course, at the Academy event, I really want to see you guys in that tournament as well, because
it means a lot.
because you guys know the drill. There's tag team wrestlers that really don't like to grab and hold the tag rope, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And you guys really cut the ring in half. You guys are different, but still one unit. And you know how to pick apart one guy, and you know how to be strong and phenomenal in the ring, and you also know how to capture the crowd's imagination. So if you're gonna like do your power moves, it doesn't look like you are pretending. You look like you really want to hurt that guy. So that's really fun, and I believe having a second tag team aside to the Arrows of Hungary from Hungary, who doesn't want to have that? Because if there's one fantastic once-in-a-lifetime tag team coming out of there should be two.
Yeah, but we aren't on the Arrows level yet,
Of
but
course,
we are working on it, and I think if we can look back on that question from 2 years distance, maybe I would answer a different. I would give you a different answer, but this time we are not on their level. But as I mentioned it, we are really working hard for that, because the Arrows is one of the biggest goal and one of the biggest level, and if we can step on their level, that would be really great on one time.
I can definitely see you guys squaring off against Rod and Flot in the first round and giving them a run for their money. I can definitely see that.
Would be awesome. Would be awesome.
And because like Rod and Flot, you've already wrestled Nikita Charisma before,
No,
I think.
Schenkenberg.
Yes, you wrestled
Yeah.
Schenkenberg before. Yeah, and Nikita was outside and he was like taking over the match with all of his like deodorant and everything. And that was really entertaining. So I would like to see the 2-on-2 clash. Maybe there's something there, a story you can tell. So who knows? Like, please, Robert, think about it.
Yeah, Rotten Flot against Gulyas Brothers would be cool, I think, because I mean they are entertaining. I can tell anything else. They are entertaining. I didn't understand any of their words from 16 Karat 90, but I was entertained the way they speak.
They are special. They are one of these guys that also came up through the lockdown tapings, basically. And we are really glad to have them because they are like perfect tag team heels. Like, and you would like to beat them up.
Yeah, they have, as I used to say, they have punchable face.
Yeah, absolutely. See, it's a match made in heaven, so it's basically now set in stone. Rod and Flot versus the Gulyas Bros at the tag team festival in some way.
I would be really happy if it happened.
So I would be happy too, and I think a lot of people would. So hopefully the powers that be in WXW hear us right now and maybe give it a thought. That would be nice.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
So, because, like, in the end, there's a tag team title opportunity, and who wouldn't want that?
Of course.
But the big question is, we've now talked about your tag team stuff you did at the weekend, but what was your overall experience? Because, like, what were your experience outside the ring? How was your impression? How the structure and everything works at WXW at such a last year? Because you've never seen this before, like something like this, of course. So, what did you think about all of that?
I think now you are wrong because I was because I was on the 2020 Karat as a staff member.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
So I already see the setup, but I never walked through the locker room because when I was there in 2020, I said that, oh no, I had the pass, but I said no, I won't. I'm not going into the locker room until I'm not booked. So I didn't saw the locker room, but this time I did, and oh shit, that it was a really different feeling, because when I walk behind the big LED screens and I just waited for my music. I was like, oh shit, I want to wrestle out there. I want to wrestle. I want to punch people in the faces, and the whole structure was amazing, and the group of people, not just in the crowd but in the back, they were really motivating. So I think WXW 16 karat gold atmosphere is yeah, you just can say that you can find it anywhere else. So it was the 16 karat feeling.
Yeah.
So I was really happy that I was able to get it, even though I wasn't in the main nights, but it was special to see Peter started to being a breakout star in WXW. So actually, I was entertained on all 3 nights, and on the surrounding shows. I was in the ring as a wrestler, and I was like, oh shit, it's happening. So for the next year's Karat, it's obviously our goal to be on one of the Karat nights too. But first of all, the main goal is Tag Team Festival now.
Is there anything like besides your goals for next year you wanted to change that you didn't like maybe at this weekend? Because obviously the positive feeling overweights for everyone because it was so great. But if there's one thing you would pick that you want to change for next year, what would that be besides being on the main card?
Yeah, I would put myself more muscle. I want to have bigger biceps for next year's Karats.
So like Jörn Simmons, because he's calling himself unheimlich jacked all the time.
he just throw me like a trash bag.
Yeah, he's a big dude, so that's your goal, being like Jörn.
Yeah, not being like Jörn, but being bigger. I mean, if I couldn't be taller, because I just stopped. So I just stopped at this height. Maybe bigger arms can solve the problem.
I'm looking forward to that. Even bigger Gulyas Junior. Like, maybe you cannot call yourself Junior anymore. You need to call.
Hopefully.
Yes, and of course there were a lot of things going on. But besides wrestling, besides WXW, do you have any other goals set for the future?
Actually, yes. I would like to. I would like to have a UK tour in the near future, to be a thing in a UK too, and I think my brother will come with me. So maybe it would be really cool if we can showcase the Gulyas Bros tag team in the UK too.
Yeah, so Progress Wrestling Carnival, all of these promotions. Yep. Yeah, that would be awesome. I think you would fit in ICW, because it's like a rough crowd with rough people, and that would be crazy to see the Gulyas Bros in ICW. I think that would be a great fit.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. Yeah, actually, it sounds great.
And outside of wrestling, there's something you want to do, approach, like something else you want to do? Big goals?
It's not really outside of wrestling, but it is. But what is really outside of wrestling, it's I would like to find a regular job besides wrestling, what can pay me a lot, but which is not even out of wrestling. Yeah, not in the near future, but in the future. Yeah, I would like to be a wrestling trainer too.
Yeah, so that's basically the ultimate dream, is to have a job that pays you a lot of money, but also gives you enough time to go around the world and wrestle, right?
Yeah.
Everyone is looking for that job, but only a few have found it. But maybe I'm pressing my thumbs for you. Maybe you are one of the lucky people that find it, and then you can obviously progress and also become a trainer, because that would be great. Because like, once Peter maybe goes outside and maybe far away, you can step into his shoes and train people there.
Yeah.
Because like when Peter came out at 16 karat, I was like, woof, the people are very loud for him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I have to say, with Peter, first I thought, he's one of these high-flying dudes, like one of these, and I'm really not a fan, not that much of a fan of high-flying wrestling, but like when he was in that Ambitions tournament, not in the Next Generation fight with Santos, I was like, whoa, that's very impressive. And the next 2 nights, he was like incredible. So now I'm a Peter Tihani fan.
Actually, they are just danced on a 16 karat night.
Yeah, that's absolutely. It's very intense too, as well. So, absolutely fantastic. It was awesome to have you here. But before I let you go, I really want to have you give you your time to tell people where they can find you on social media, where they can watch your shows, and obviously because you've got some great new merchandise out there, where people can buy that.
Okay, so you can find me on all platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and my Facebook page is not that active. So if you would like to follow me, I would recommend Twitter and Instagram. You can find me under Gulyas Wrestling name on both platforms. And yeah, if you like my merchandise and would like to grab one, you can just drop me a message on Twitter or on Instagram, and we will figure out something. And if I'm on one of the shows with WXW, you can buy it anyway, because I always bring some. ...
Or Passion Pro Wrestling HCW, right?
Yeah, Passion Pro HCW, because I'm the most active mostly active in HCW, and Passion Pro because it's here in Hungary. Both promotion will have a show in the near future. HCW will have this Saturday, but because it will be aired after that, I say that HCW gonna have a show on March 19th, where me and my brother will defend our titles against Robert Dreisker and X-Men, the X-Men t-shirt.
Oh my god. That's...
Yeah. So HCW Vendetta. And when you will air this, because it already happened, I can say that we were in the main event.
Oh, that's crazy. I mean, you're facing quite the big caliber stars right there, like long tenured guys, and one of them has been in WWE, and the other one is like, it's Robert Dreisker. He's seen it all. He has almost done it all, besides world title and 16 karat winner. Everything else he has done, and he is fantastic in the ring. He's the best powerhouse. Yeah, I mean, there are a few other great powerhouses, but he's really entertaining. But he's a bad guy now, so we shouldn't talk about him.
Also in Hungary too. So yeah, I will have this match. It's already a big pressure, but what puts more pressure on my shoulder, that I will have my first ever main event against them.
Oh, that's so. I'm looking forward to see that. Where can we see HCW wrestling?
You can be a channel member on HCW Hungary. It's, I don't know how it works, but I think it's a channel membership that you can pay regularly and monthly.
On YouTube. Okay,
I
see.
On
yes.
YouTube.
Yes, and I know what you mean. There's like a membership, and if you are part of the member, you have special access to different shows. So everyone should go check that out. That's pretty easy to do. And Passion Pro, I've seen your shows on YouTube directly.
Passion Pro it's a lot easier, because you just have to type Passion Pro in the search motor of YouTube, and you can see all of the Passion Pro shows for free on YouTube.
That's cool, because I've been told the crowd in Passion Pro is like crazy, really loud. They really want to see some wrestling, and couldn't make it for the next show, but maybe hopefully one of the future shows. I hope to fly out to see Hungarian wrestling live, because you guys really impressed me.
Just write me if you would like to if you would like to have some help to anything. Also, if you came by alone, you can sleep on my place if you would like to.
Oh, thank you. That's a very nice offer.
Anywhere.
So we will see what's going to happen, because there are other people as well that maybe want to go. Maybe we can also pack a plane like you guys did and fly everyone from Germany
that
over.
would be great.
So everyone that's listening to this, like, let's get together. Let's invade Passion Pro Wrestling and ACW.
Let's fucking do it.
So, and then also, of course, I have to mention it again because I really liked the design. The Hungarian Bull of the Village merchandise. Really, let's buy all of that. The hoodie and the shirt, I really like it. And so that's it. So if you guys want to check us out, it's at Just Bring It Pod on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope all of you guys have a great time. And the last and final words obviously belong to our guests. So what are your final words to our audience?
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast, and thank you for the invite once again. I really enjoyed it. Please follow Just Bring It Pod anywhere you can, because they are doing great.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.